Welcome to auction number 17, where we'll look at some loose items. The first is this Dodge Power Wagon. This comes out of a 5-pack if I remember correctly. I pulled apart. It's a very nice casting, nice and big, nice and heavy. It's 70 over there is because it's a 1970 Dodge Power Wagon. Dodge Power Wagon, made in Indonesia. See, it comes out of a 5-pack. So I'd like to start this one off on 15 Rand. The next item, Hot Wheels, it's called the Boom Box. You definitely see play worn. Have a closer look. The Department of Water and Power, inspector's vehicle. First time I've seen Hot Wheels into one of the windows. It looks like it's a bit rusted on the tires, but it's still a nice runner. I'd like to start this one on 5 Rand. So the next item is one of these mystery models. This is a number 3. And this is what I suspect you're going to get from it. So take my word as gospel. But I think this is what you get out of it. Plus a sticker like this. That's a very nice Mercedes 300 SL. Golf colours, not quite golf colours I suppose. Close enough. So I'd like to start that mystery model off at 50 Rand. So next we have this very silver 1977 Dodge fan. I remember correctly, the A-Team used the 77 Dodge fan. Let's have a closer look at him. Seems to have a lot of factory defaults on him, or defects on him rather. So it definitely isn't play worn, because this came straight out of a 5-pack. It looks like it's been through the ringer, but I think this is all just factory defects. I don't know if you consider it an error or not. Made in Malaysia. Definitely out of a 5-pack. Anyway, I'd like to start this one off on 15 Rand. So the next item is this bulldozer by Meister. Like, it's neat and clean. It's got some metal to it. It's just not heavy. It's quite tinny actually. No moving parts or anything. Nothing moves on it. So I'd like to start this one off on 5 Rand. So the next item is a fantasy by Hot Wheels called the Power Piston. And a closer look at him. sorry, metal base, plastic top. Made in Thailand, so it's better casting than you'd find made in Malaysia, where I'd like to start this one off on 5 rand. The next item is one of these minis from Kinjoy. They race in British racing green colour. Closer look. These are all play worn. I suspect they're staying on a shelf for quite some time. Still nice and neat though, rubber tyres, full back action. So I'd like to start this one off on 5 rand. So the next item is a really nice fantasy car by Meister. It's called the GT Racer. Nice and clean, very nice paint job, got some nice weight to it. Sorry, just battling to get it focused, I don't know why. There we go. I don't know why I'm battling so much to get focused, yeah. Maybe it's sort of position I'm sitting. That's a very neat, very clean car from Meister. Definitely looks like it was built for the tracks. Maybe they wanted to give Hot Wheels track cars some competition. Yeah, I'd like to start this one off on 5 rand. The next item is another mystery models. This time it is number 2. So again, don't take my word for it, don't take it as gospel, but this is what I think you get out of it. It's this BMW Z4 Motorsport. Very nice looking car. Plus, you get the following with it as well. So I'd like to start this on 50 rand. Next item is Hot Wheels fantasy car called the MONTERACER. I think if you look at it, it seems to be like a bit of a combination over here. I think it was either the Jags or the Ferraris, you know, racing cars. I think Le Mans racing cars. Where the driver is sort of offset over there with this sort of wing behind him. And from the front, it almost looks like a rally. Look, it's a very nice casting as well. I'm sure it would do well on the tracks. Metal base, plastic top. So I'd like to start this one on 5 rand. Next item is one of these items I'm never really sure what to do with. Do I try and put it up here and see if I can get $5 out of it? Or do I just add it to my donate pile? Yeah, this is it's called the Real X. You see a Sora. The Sora is actually a Toyota brand. The Toyota Sora, I think it's LEXUS in the US and Europe, etc. But in Japan they actually call it the Sora. The Toyota Sora. I think it's got some nice detail on it. It's smaller than 1:64. The exact scale I don't know. Can be taken off this mounting. I do suspect there was like glass around it at one stage, or a plastic covering. Anyway, I like to start him on 5 rand. Next we head over to Majorette, sorry, for this Jeep Wrangler. Like I say, Majorette has got some really nice shocks to their cars. And the old Matchbox, etc. of yesteryear used to have those nice shocks. It is the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. Open top. Looks like a manual gearbox. And so I like to start this one off on 10 rand. Next we get on to looks like another Dodge van, but this time, as you can see, there's the flame logo. So this is a treasure hunt car. Nice and neat. As this is a treasure hunt, I'd like to start at a 50 rand. Next item is this very play-worn Dodge Charger. I suspect it might have been a colour changer. I'm not 100% sure on that, mind you. As you can see, it's very play-worn. Just trying to see if there's anything about it being a colour changer. It just has the feel to it. I suppose that look to it as well. I don't think they tell you much at the bottom whether it would be or not. Anyway, I'd like to start this one off on 5 rand. So next is one of these brands I don't come by very often. I don't see them very often. They're called Metal Machines. And they like to base their cars on Hot Wheels cars. This one's called the ZURU. You can definitely see the Hot Wheels influence if you take things like the Bone Shaker, etc. into it. Nice neat car. I'd like to start this one off on 5 rand. So next we have another Mini from KINJOY. You can see it's pretty play-worn. Also probably been standing on a counter or something for many years. It has picked up a bit of dust, so it is rubber tires. These KINJOY has really made some nice minis. Let's see, even this is rubber. Definitely play-worn or just, due to age. Just pullback action. I never test the pullback action on the cars. I'm scared I strip them. Anyway, I'd like to start this one off on 5 rand. Next item we go and do some Star Wars. This is Chewbacca, or CHEWIE. And definitely part of the Star Wars collection. I'll show how we know that as well. So this is meant to be the Chewbacca car called CHEWIE. Looks like it was based on the Unimog. There's a Star Wars fighter plane. Look from the front, you can see our CHEWIE over there. If we look underneath, can see the Star Wars thing, and that LFL, that stands for Lucasfilm Limited. So they did bring out quite a range for Star Wars back in the day. So I'd like to start this one off on 15 Rand. Next we have this, I suppose, dump truck from a brand I've heard of, but can't say I know much about it. This is Tutsu Toy. So this is their waste management truck. Definitely play worn. See, it is missing the door at the back. So I'd like to start this one on 5 Rand. So our next item is this very nice Lotus EMIRA in the British Racing Green. Nice clean car. Lotus badge. Thought maybe I took it out of a 5 back, but obviously I didn't. So I'd like to start this one off on 15 Rand. So next is one of these generic Hot Wheels race cars. I think maybe it's sort of meant to be based on like a futuristic Indy car. Looks more like it would be IndyCar rather than Formula 1 or anything. Doesn't have a name as such. Just says CFL02. So whatever the CFL is, no clue. Anyway, I'd like to start this one off on 5 Rand. So the next item I very much suspect is one that comes out of a 5-pack I pulled apart. It looks like the 1970 Chevelle from Fast and Furious. If it's Indonesia at the bottom, then it does come out of a Fast and Furious 5-pack. Very neat, very clean. Yeah, made in Indonesia, so it definitely came out of a Fast and Furious 5-pack this. So I'd like to start this one off on 15 Rand. So the next item is another green Jeep Wrangler, this time by Meister. Look, it's very neat and clean, not tinny, feels pretty solid. Like I say, Meister does bring out some nice cars. This is probably one I took apart, a 5-pack for something like that I bought over in the US. It's branded under Adventure Force rather than Meister. On the packaging anyway, on the car itself still says Meister. I'd like to start this one on 5 Rand. The next item is another fantasy car by Hot Wheels. This one's called the Drift and Brake. You can definitely see it's based on the Maxima Drift or the Volvo Drift or a combination of the two. Very neat and clean. You actually see there in the back. So I'd like to start this one on 10 Rand. So any stock car racers out there will really enjoy this one. This one's brought to us by Majorette. You can see it is a Renault race car, stock car, roll bars etc. in front. Definitely but play worn. Boot doors open. Backman on the side. Nice Renault badge in front. Renault Turbo at the back, Renault 5 Turbo. Actually used to have a Renault 5 at one stage, not quite the shape but. So Renault 5 Turbo. I'd like to start him off on 10 Rand. Talking about the Maxima drift car, here we have one. Listen, like I said, that is Hot Wheels in Japanese. And if you remember, that fantasy car also had that at the back. So it's definitely based more on this Maxima. So I'd like to start this one off on 10 Rand. Next we have this, it looks like a Corvette to me. I'll have a closer look. I think it's like a Le Mans or endurance racing car. There's your Corvette badge, so it's definitely a Corvette. Maybe a C2. Definitely got play worn, but still pretty nice. Let's see what it says at the bottom. Okay, Corvette SR2. Can't say I've heard of it. I'd like to start this one off on 5 Rand. The next item is this very neat and clean new shape VW Beetle. White ball tires. Bug life. I've got no clue where I actually would have got this from. I would have got it probably out of a 20 pack. So I'd like to start this one on 20 Rand. Next item is this flatbed hauler or fast bed hauler, I think they call them. They're very popular in the US. This one, it's like it's unpainted, but it's not quite Zamak. It's almost like an unpolished sort of Zamak color. Of course, the trailer does move on it. Like I said, they are very popular in the US, these haulers. Yeah, fast bed hauler. So I'd like to start this one off on 15 Rand. So the next item is again this very neat and clean Mercedes-Benz. I think this is the 500, not the 560. Let's have a closer look at him. Yeah, 500. Nice looking in front. Nice paint job. So I'd like to start this one on 20 Rand. Next item is one of these fantasy cars again from Hot Wheels. This one's called the Growler. Look, there's a lot of plastic on this. This top is very plasticky. The bottom is metal, but it just feels pretty light. I don't think you'll break any records on the tracks. I'd like to start this one off on 5 Rand. Next item again is one of these that I'm not sure what I should be doing with it. Should I put it up for 5 Rand and see if anyone takes it, or just put it straight into the donation bin? Anyway, it is a motorbike, missing a handlebar, mind you. Nice flames on it. Nice speckled purple colour. Doesn't say much. Just Malaysia 2000, the costume date, definitely Hot Wheels. I don't know. Let's put him up at 5 Rand. So the next item is this Warrior Mustang GT. Made in the USA since '78. Is that referring to Warrior? Definitely not referring to a Mustang. Toyo tires. Factory defects there. I'd like to start this one on 15 Rand. So the next item is one of these again. I'm going to urge you to proceed with caution. A very cheap Master plastic Golf GTI. There's no metal whatsoever, and it's obviously been customized. So someone's bought a very cheap Master GTI and added some of the decal on itself. Make it look like a stock car racing or racer. See on the front of the FMJ Racing, I suspect it's a Francois guy. Francois Hubert or something. I would say it's a very, very cheap car. Definitely a custom job, so please proceed with caution. I'd like to start this one 5 Rand. Next we have one of these Meister Mercs again. Like I say, these things come with no rubber on the tires. I believe that's the way that they were made. Definitely play worn, very play worn. Can't quite make out what it says over there. Look at this, metal on metal, so it is pretty heavy. So I'd like to start this one off on R5. Next item is one of these fantasy cars from Hot Wheels again. It's called the Jester. Originally I thought maybe it came out of a stripped 5-pack, Batman 5-pack, but somehow I don't think so. Trying to make out what it's got there in the back. Yeah, a bit difficult to tell. Especially when you start getting to my age, your eyes do tend to go. It is made in Thailand, which is the better castings, the better paint jobs than the Malaysia stuff. So I'm wondering if it didn't come out of like a 8-pack or a 20-pack of some sort. Anyway, I'd like to start this one off on R5. Next is this little mini, done by a company called Del Prado. Now, I have come across Del Prado before. It was a magazine when you subscribed, or when you used to get your issues, you used to get a free car with it. So this would have been one of the free cars. This was back in the 80s and 90s. So I do remember seeing one. This would be 1988 by looks of things. The DP is obviously Del Prado. I do remember seeing one of these in a toy shop in the UK. And I had a closer look because I've never seen or heard of Del Prado before. Okay, it says 1:43 scale. I'm not so sure if it's quite that size. Anyway, I'd like to start this one off on R10. Next is this very neat, clean Mini Austin from Hot Wheels. Unfortunately, it's very plain in the front and the back. Even the sides, there's not much on it. You've got the amount of decal on the sides over here. They could have done more, you know, with the front especially. Austin minivan. Anyway, I'd like to start this one off on R15. So next item is this very generic Chinese, I suppose it's a grader. Look, it is very light, but it definitely does have some metal to it. It has got moving parts. Absolutely nothing written at the bottom. I don't know if that means anything to anybody. If so, drop me a message in the comments. Look, I think best I can do is ask for R5. So the next item is this red/orange, I'm not sure exactly what you call this color. Enjoy money again. Gold tires. It's rubber, definitely rubber. Full back action. Not sure what this is at the bottom, but look, these, I think I bought all these minis at just like a state sale or something like that. So I do suspect it's been standing on a cabinet or mantelpiece or something for many years. Anyway, I'd like to start this off on R5. The last item we're going to look at is this Ford Bronco from Hot Wheels. So any surfers out there? Surf's up. Does look like it's a bit play worn. You've got your spare tyre. I do prefer it if they make the spare tyre exactly the same as the tyres on the car, but yeah. Let's start this one on 10 Rand and see what happens.